Join us now for the City of Dillon Council meeting, brought to you by Hometown TV, serving Dillon and Marion counties.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our Father which art in heaven, dear Lord God, we humbly come before your throne of grace to give you thanks for all of your many blessings and all your benefits you bestow upon us on daily. Dear Lord God, we ask that you continuously bless our Mayor Pro Tem, our City Council, our City Manager, our City Attorney, all the department heads on tonight as we make decisions for the betterment of all the citizens of Dillon. And in everything we do, we pray we give your name the glory, your name the honor, and your name the praise. For it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Can I get an approval on the agenda?
I'll make the motion.
Second. Those in favor? All right, approval of the minutes for the regular meeting July 1st and the call meeting of July 8th.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All those in favor? Well, you know, I've been kind of busy. You know, I tell people that I still have a full-time job, and this has been a little bit of awakening. But I've enjoyed it, and I'm honored. I've represented the city, and that's how I'll say it. We had the Newtown thing that we met over in Newtown. It was kind of a violence awareness, and you did a great job with that. We had a number of speakers, and you know, we talked about, you know, the different, you know, obvious things that are happening, and this all happened right before all those shootings, and it's just interesting. Most of the speakers spoke about the lack of fathers in the lives of our children. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to speak to the National Guard on behalf of the city and the city council that are being deployed, actually going to Kuwait, and then where they go from there, we don't know. I've visited, and I think I said this last month, I visited with Bert, and this past month I visited with Hardy out at the sewage treatment plant, just to get an idea of how things run. I think Hardy locked this room where we were going to originate our meeting so it would stink about as bad as it could stink, so I wouldn't stay long. Now I don't know that to be true, but that's just a hunch. And there was also a ribbon cutting for Food Line. So a lot of events, a lot of things going on in Dillon. A lot of things that call for my attention and our attention. Some concerns. We've got dogs that are kind of running the neighborhoods, and all I can say is we're trying to address this. Our dog catcher resigned about 10 days ago, so you know, we don't know what to do. We don't want to shoot them, but it's just it's a problem. We know it's a problem, and we're just doing our best to address that. For those of you who've seen them, and I really don't have a whole lot more. A lot of good things are happening in Dillon, and it's a joy to be a part of it, see it grow, and to see interest here. Anyway, that's about me. Glenn?
Well, just to follow up on your stray dogs, we had several calls this morning. The police department went out and did some surveillance of certain areas where these dogs were spotted. Have yet to find them. And if I'm not mistaken, the county's also helping.
Yes, sir.
Animal control with the county's also helping us to locate these dogs. And all I ask is if the public sees any stray dogs or dogs that they're concerned about, to dial 911, that way we can get there quicker, whether it's the police or animal control.
Well, they run in packs, and you'd love to know what they're saying to each other. Hey, there's Fifi, you know. I mean,
We've been chasing these animals probably for the last 2 or 3 months, and
I bet they're talking about that too.
They are. So, when someone stops them and lets us know where they last seen them, it gives us a better idea. But the day the police department was out during their normal patrols and also looking for these animals that have yet to find them.
Where are we at on hiring a new dog catcher?
I think you're completed that.
Yes, sir.
So we're waiting now on background checks, make sure everything comes through. And hopefully, days to 12, prior to September 1st, if all goes well, we'll have somebody in place on that. We had a break-in several weeks ago, I say several weeks ago, 3 weeks or so ago, down at the street department. Someone has broken in by cutting the backside of the property at the fence, entering the fenced area and taking tools that may have been left on pickup trucks. They also broke into our video camera trailer that we video stormwater and sewer that we just refurbished 2 months ago. They stole the generator off of it and also the video recording equipment out of it. The video recording equipment has been replaced as of last week. We're waiting on the generator that we've ordered to come in. And then
So that was basically brand new equipment.
roughly $3,000 per. How much was the generator? About $1,000? Yes, sir. And then the video recording equipment, not the actual camera, but what it sends it to, and the monitor was about $2,000. So about $3,000 just in that equipment. Right now we are working on putting in video surveillance cameras within that property. Because on occasions we do have people who do break in. Sometimes they'll steal gas out of vehicles. But this time they actually cut the fence on the back side of the property, which is lit up at night. I rode by there 2 weeks ago and all the lights on the poles worked, but they got in and took everything they wanted they could get to. So once the generator comes in, we're going to start. Right now, the trailer itself is inside the property under the shelter. We're going to start locking it inside the building. Because the generator was actually bolted to the camera trailer, and they actually unbolted it, cut the wires, and took it out. And then opened the door to the trailer and took out the monitor and the recording devices. So put us behind the 8 ball on doing any video in here in the last month.
It's real suspicious.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Just saying. Know the right tools to bring.
Yeah. Well, they had been there before, without a
That's
doubt.
exactly what I'm saying.
They have been there before.
That's just.
The new garbage truck is now in operation 100%. We were testing it late July. We started last Monday, actually running it every day. We posted on, as you may have noticed on your trash can, an orange card that is attached that tells you now what to do with your trash can. Previously, you rolled your trash can out with the handle and wheels to the road. With this new truck, the cans face forward with the handle and wheels facing your house or property. That way, when the new truck picks it up, because it's got a single arm on the side that picks it up and dumps it in, and if it's facing in the correct way, it's easier for the trash to come out of the can instead of reversing.
So can the arm get on both sides of the road?
No.
So how are we working that?
Can you answer that, Bert?
Well, you have to go down and back.
Okay. And you're doing it with one person now, correct?
Well, I got 2 in there, but right now the person's, you having to get out and move cans and turn around, things like that, till the public gets educated. And I'd say about half the cans are being turned the right way now. So it's going to be a little process to get the public educated to turn the cans the right way. So that employee.
We used to run 3 though.
Yeah, we ran
1
3.
driving and 2.
And we still have got to work out how we're picking up some folks, you know, some senior citizens that are not able to pull their carts out. We have a list of those folks that we go out and get their cart from beside their house and pull it out to the road. So we're still working through those processes.
Is it more time consuming to do it that way, or are you making up time by doing it this way?
Right now, we're averaging about the same pace. You know, like I say, and we're still learning, so hopefully it ends up being a little faster, especially if we can get the public that, you know, more educated, you know.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a whole lot safer too.
Yeah, you don't have anybody riding on the back of the truck. And two, I learned today, I don't know if Bert had known it until we saw it in action operation. It'll tell us each day how many cans we pick up. And we average about 500 cans a day, Bert, is that right?
Yes, sir.
So we know how many cans we pick up on.
Are we still running 2 trash trucks? Just this one?
Trash got one truck. Just that one truck. That's all I have at this moment, Dr. Wallace.
Janet, finance?
In our general fund, our total cash accounts, we've got $1,957,170 in it. Out of that, $50,000 is earmarked for where we're paying ourselves back on a loan from 2018. Then we've got, so we've got $286,911 more in revenues in 19 than we had in 2018. That's due to, we got sanitation rates increased 5%, plus we've got our local option money came in July instead of June of last year, this past
Now,
year.
so, how does that, I mean, I know it looks good for this year, but, as far as the deficit we had last year, how do we do with that money coming in July? Obviously, that was for.
I had to record it back for June.
Okay.
I recorded that for the audit.
Okay.
Our expenses.
So, do we look good though? Because I think that at the end of the year, we kind of had a little deficit there.
General fund was probably right at break even.
Okay. All right.
But we won't know until we get into the audit and they start making sure everything's where it's supposed to be.
I have to do the journal entries
Okay.
and do that before we can give a number. Our expenses for 2019 was $1,019,743 in July versus $645,450 in July of last year. We spent $374,293 more in 19 than in 18. We did pay for the sanitation truck, but we will get that loan. We're in the process of making that loan, so that will go back in the general fund.
Is that how y'all do it? You expense it out, and then when you get it, it's just recorded as income?
Okay, the next thing is our water and sewer fund. Our total non-restricted operation accounts is $1,616,867. Our restricted accounts is $1,790,779, bringing a total of all accounts to $3,407,646. We spent we got $81,230 more in revenues in 2019 than we did in 2018, and some of that is due to water and sewer rates increased 3%. We have spent $72,281 more in 2019 than we did in 2018.
You got an explanation on that?
Well, we pay for insurance, liability insurance. We pay for workers' comp, and if any of that went up, we paid that in the month of July. So that could have been some of that. Then it could have been some of our pumps that, we had, that went out.
Yeah.
That we had to pay for.
Already you remember expenses on that? And that's a lot of money in 6
We had a
months.
couple of aerators go out. And we had some pump issues.
So not to tell you for it.
You don't anticipate in the next 6 months we're gonna be another $72,000. Hard to say. We shouldn't have insurance. And if you pay it once a year.
No, we pay it twice a year.
So it may happen.
Did we ever think about buying more bypass pumps and stuff?
I got a price on that 8-inch quiet pack, it was $87,000.
87,000. Okay. That's some question.
okay, and the golf course, and was, brought in $3,201 more in 2018 than we did in 2019. We spent $3,122 more in 2019 than we did in 2018. Our special revenue accounts, our 2% hospitality, we were $909 less in 2019 than we were in 2018. That's due to, we had a couple of businesses pay late that came in August for them, so.
Couple questions for you, Janet. On the expense for the wellness center, it's got capital outlay. What does that mean?
That was the sign. Was it 30-some thousand?
Yeah, is that
The
what that
sign
is?
out there.
Was the sign? And the insurance company paid us because
They paid us about $15,000.
15, so we had to pay 15,000.
Which they paid us about a year ago, I guess it was, because it's been about a year since that sign was demolished from that wreck.
Have you requested the $50,000 this year for the restoration from the county?
No, but I am. I'm gonna see if we can get a little bit more than 50.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask for it.
Bridget?
Greetings, everyone. So I was asked to give y'all updates on what's happening with downtown development. As many of you are aware, because 3 of y'all were there, we just concluded our Fab Fridays, which was our summer concert series. And just to explain that a little bit, what we are trying to do with the Fab Friday concert series is get people back to coming downtown. The concept is called placemaking. And so you want people to know that they can come downtown and gather at a particular place and then make memories there. And so that's one of the things that we've been avidly working on over the last 18 months, is getting people back coming downtown at Fountain Square, and that's the place that they'll be making their memories.
As well, I thought there were a lot of people that came and had a good time, and the bands were fun, and people enjoyed themselves. No, I don't know how we could get more people involved. I mean, there was decent crowds, but certainly there was room for more people to come. We always sat in the back because I like to partake of a cigar.
We saw you there. And we appreciate you being there. It makes a difference when the public see the council involved in the process. And so I appreciate all y'all who attended coming. This August, we'll be having a Downtown Development Committee meeting at the Wellness Center. And this is due to the fact that our state Main Street director is coming in to preside over that meeting. We have, she has asked that we invite the council, city delegation, department heads, as well as our stakeholders in the community who are participating in what we're doing downtown, what we're trying to build. So all of y'all, I think Glenn said he was going to expound upon that a little bit.
What time is that meeting?
6 to 8 p.m. next Monday. But everybody that is involved in this process, Jenny Boulware has asked for you to be there, and she's going to really dive into the program, what we're trying to build. And the reason that is important is because we're working to become a certified Main Street here, and we're working to become certified as a Main Street community here in Dillon. This year we joined as an affiliate, so we're just participating in the program right now, following the guidance. But we are working towards becoming an actual certified program for the state of South Carolina and also nationally. So that's why this is important.
What does that give us to be part of that?
For one, with your business development, developers are looking for communities that participate in the National Main Street because there's a standard there. So we're working to build to that standard. And that's the main part, is development.
It's recognized. I mean, it's a
Exactly.
recognized
Exactly. So once you have that standard, then you are on the, I guess you would say, the A list for developers. They know you have plans in place, and they know you're serious about trying to develop the area. And Dillon is primed and ready for that right now. Any more questions?
Yeah, I have a couple questions for
Go
you.
ahead.
Your last meeting for the business owners, how many business owners attended your meeting?
The last meeting was last month, and we had, I think, 7 participants. We did a walkabout for downtown where we went through 5 blocks of Main Street and we assessed Main Street.
Okay. Glenn, how far does the city limits go out here in Harbor Freights? Do
We
you know?
go out to the interstate.
Out to the interstate? Is it possible we can try to find a way to get grant money along with the city helping to light this street up as you come into downtown Dillon,
On 34?
right here on 34? Because it's so dark, the entranceways are so, I mean, that's a junk hole out there.
You're talking about from the interstate?
Pee Wee Webster's, whatever.
Yeah.
From there, that's just a terrible eyesore. But I was thinking if you light it up and get some kind of, light your entranceway up into the city, it might drive more businesses to want to come to our downtown.
There's just some things going on out there that may address that. You might just be patient,
Well, and also, we only, when I say we're, basically the road is what's in the city. When we annex those properties, we got them to annex only 10 foot of their frontage.
Right.
Along their frontage line. But we can look.
So with the ditches and all that that's overgrown, would that be the city's responsibility?
Yeah, we cut out there, what, every 2 weeks, Bert, down 34?
You cut the right of way every week and try to cut the dishes about once a month. I mean, you
But as
say
far
there
as
are.
lighting it up, what can we do about trying to get, if it's
Well,
on city limits?
I don't know if there's any grant money, that's just something we just call Duke. If they do.
The poles are
service.
out there, all you gotta do is put the lights on the poles.
Duke services this side of the interstate, so all we have to do, because we added 2 or 3 about a year ago, wasn't it?
Mhm.
At that new
At the
road.
entranceway for Harbor Freight.
Yeah, we added those because it was dark when those trucks were coming out at night. But it's something we can look and see what the cost would be.
Okay, that's what I had, Reed, thank you.
Okay. And the last topic I want to cover is just to give y'all an update on the Pine Street Neighborhood Revitalization Project. So right now we are in what's called a permit phase, and it's been a lot of signing. I guess Glenn is about tired of us, but we've had to get permits from SCDOT as well as DHEC and some other entities. Those have been submitted, and we're waiting for to receive those. They're saying that the estimated time for those are about 3 weeks. After we have those permits in hand, then our engineering firm will be sending those out to bid. The bid process will take about 30 days, and the engineering firm will be administering that process. After bid, then comes construction, and our time frame on construction is towards the end of October till the 1st of November. At that time, you will see a lot of work going on real quick on that north end. Any questions?
Now, go ahead.
What time you said the meeting was? Monday?
6.
6 at the Wellness
6
Center, multi-purpose room.
If more than 3 of you show up, it's a meeting. And I have to advertise.
She's been doing that. She's had it in the community calendar.
If we
Okay.
just show up,
If there's more than 3 of you, it would be considered a meeting, but it has been advertised?
what if we show up parties?
All right.
Is that what we like to discuss?
Okay, so it's
A
covered.
lot goes on there.
Yeah, it's covered. It's been in the newspaper, so it's covered, so we don't have to worry about more than 3 showing up.
Well, still, while you're here, one more question, and it might pertain to you, Benny. Behind that loan company back on going towards Popes, is that condemned?
Yes, sir.
Are we thinking about tearing it down here in the near future?
Yes, sir.
And how far are you gonna tear it down? How far it goes, I mean, there's nothing on that side of the road. So how far are we gonna go down and tear it demolish? Do you know?
Oh, okay, across the street from Council on Aging?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How far are we gonna tear the building? How far are we gonna go down? I mean, there's nothing on that whole block right there.
There are one.
Got that auction.
No,
It would be back up 301 and in between 4th and 301. You've got one, two, was there 3 properties there?
3 properties.
Yeah. 3 different properties.
And how many have you condemned? Just one?
Yeah, we condemned the Ulysses Madison's building.
Mhm.
I think Alan Watts bought the other building from Miss Williams that owned that building. We haven't condemned Miss Williams' building, which Alan Watts now owns.
Mhm.
But we have condemned the Ulysses Madison's building.
That's the 2-story one there.
That's right.
Okay.
Both of them.
Do you have any idea when we might be doing this?
Well, so tearing it
Yeah.
down, you know, and that, before we could come with the timetable, that'd be something we'll have to come back with council. Because remember now, we're out on, what's the last one we tore down? How much was that? Over there on Hampton Street. About $40,000, you know, out of our pocket. So we got to kind of pace ourselves on those.
And we got the Harry Reynolds.
Well, not just that, it's just our cost, because, you know, if they don't tear them down, we have a right to do it, but it's at our cost. And we try to get them to sign an agreement, but that doesn't mean that they'll pay us. It just goes a lien on that property if the property's ever sold. So, I mean, to answer your question, I mean, we
In a
can do
nutshell, it
it.
does. I mean, because I'm just worried about us next 6 months still seeing the same thing. You got, she's here today, Gigi and Dobbs.
Yep.
Done a lot of remodeling in her store. Looks outstanding. She walks out her door, she sees a pile of mess.
I understand.
I mean, so we've got to, I mean, I understand it cost us.
Yeah.
But if we're going to get our uptown to where it's nice, we've got to put a little bit of money and effort into it. And I don't know if the grant
disagree.
money's out there or not, but we've got to do our part. It's an eyesore.
Well, the only thing about the grant money, if you go through CBDG, the property has to be ours
Right.
to do anything with it, to get money to do anything with it. And 2, if we tear it down, we can't sell it. And if we do sell it, whatever money we got through the grant, we have to give back to the grant process. So, I mean, I'm just saying, we can get them torn down, but we have to come to you to
And I
get
really
the funding
believe if
to
you
do it.
tear it down, somebody will rebuild there. That's a prime location.
Oh, absolutely. It is. It is.
Thank you, Don.
Thank you, Bridget. Tanya Haddock and Mary Miller.
Yeah, let me, if I may, in my letter, I just told you about a meeting that I had with Ms. Haddock and Ms. Miller concerning the JV property about a month ago, and requested that they appear before council to discuss what they're looking to do over at JV Martin. I think she has some handouts. You got your handouts that they're going to give you to look at, and she will go through this Ms. Haddock's with a developing company. They're looking to get a grant through HUD and all that to redevelop JV Martin. So I'll turn it over to Ms. Haddock.
I'd like to introduce you to Tanya Haddock, who's the managing partner of Cadence Development. She has been in touch with our organization, DHSF, and is on the way to making our dream a reality of getting into the auditorium and doing something with the J.D. Martin. This is Ms. Haddock.
Good evening.
Thank you, ma'am.
Should I be over here or?
Can I have one? Thank you. You can
So again, I'm Tanya Haddock, and thank you for having me this evening in front of you, and thank you, Mary, for the introduction. I've been working with the Dillon High School Historic Foundation since, what was it, April we started? Yes. And first and foremost, I'm a historic preservationist. So I accidentally came across this property looking at properties that were in danger in South Carolina. And I saw your school and I thought, oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. So sent a letter to Mary's group and finally heard back. And started talking to them about what I do. So I do historic preservation in conjunction with affordable housing. And as we were talking, a grant opportunity came up through HUD, which is called the Section 202 grant, and it's for senior housing. So we're talking people who are 62 and older. And it will afford us the opportunity, I think, to do some pretty amazing things at this property. We want to restore the auditorium back to its original state. We will lease it back to Mary's group, and they will be able to run theater shows, things of that nature out of there. We'll do 33 one-bedroom apartments for seniors. We also want to provide a lot of social and supportive services, not just for the people who will live there, but for the community at large. We've envisioned a dog park. You'll see some of this in the pamphlet, and I apologize for those in the audience that can't see it, and I'm happy to share it with you. We want to redo the gymnasium. We want to do things like we want to have a beauty parlor and a barber shop within there. We want to offer classes like yoga, art classes, because as you probably know, or maybe not, I just learned Mary's an amazing artist. So this is our vision. Our vision is to reinvent while still using the bones of the property back to a state that will be a beautiful gateway into your downtown area. And it's interesting that you mentioned the Main Street property, Bridget, because the very first thing I did when I looked at Dillon, South Carolina, was to see if you were a Main Street community. So kudos to you guys for doing that support. So yes, we are applying for a grant to HUD, which is due on August 20th, a very short few days from here. And as part of that, it is a competitive process. And in order to be competitive, you have to have some leveraging of local funding into the property. So when we reached out to Glenn, we discussed this, the zoning of the property, and that we would be looking for a grant, not a grant, a low interest loan to the property for $250,000 to increase our odds. There is $50 million available through the HUD program, but this is a nationwide competition. You will be competing with everyone in the country. But we believe that with all the supportive services that we want to provide, combined with some very green, energy efficient things we want to do, such as utilizing gray water systems to water the gardens of the area. We want to do a car charging station there. We want to have solar benches that also allow people to charge their phone or use, their laptop, those sort of things, to really, bring this back to what it was, but just the newer version. So that's what we're here to discuss tonight.
Is this like an extended or extended living? Is it a assisted living?
Not assisted living.
This is just a place for seniors to have a room?
No, it's senior housing, so it's an apartment. These
Right.
people will live there. And what it's designed to do is allow people to age in place. So while it's not assisted living, we're still talking about people who are independent. But maybe they want to do things that really bring them back to the community. They want to participate in certain programs. They want to do community gardening. They want to take a dance class, or they want to listen to a lecture, things like that.
They cook in the apartment, or are you going to have a place for them to go and eat?
They will cook in their apartments. They'll have, a
Okay.
kitchen. It's, think of it as just a one-bedroom apartment
Okay.
for all intents and purposes. But we do want to reutilize the kitchen that's there in the school, and we were hoping to partner with someone like Meals on Wheels, but then we kind of learned that maybe that's not possible just because of the way it's structured. But we would like to offer cooking classes there and things of that.
What would be the average square footage for an apartment?
So in South Carolina, we would also be applying for the tax exempt bond program. And the state of South Carolina, their Housing Finance and Development Authority, has specific requirements for the square footage. So you must be 750 square feet, but no larger than 950.
So you said your deadline is August the 20th.
Yes.
How long would it take for you to find out if you we're able to get the grant?
Sure, it's supposed to be in December. So I would say before the Christmas holiday, we should be hearing.
And our obligation, you just need a promissory note from us that says that we would give you $250, and I don't know.
Well, let me ask her to input something, your
Okay.
conversation with Senator and House members.
Yeah, Jackie and yeah.
Coach, right?
Yeah.
Yes, we were fortunate enough to meet with them last week, and they were extremely supportive of this process and what we're proposing to do, and felt as though, I don't want to speak for them, but they felt as though they would be able to help provide these fundings through to the city to then put into the project.
I hate to put you on the spot, but when you say provide the funding, they're gonna get us the $250,000?
Jackie
Yes.
said,
That's
Jackie
what
and
it
I
said.
talked the other day.
Where are they gonna get the money from?
I would imagine they would probably go through your Department of Commerce. There are all kinds of economic development funds that are available. Uh-oh, did I say the wrong word?
No. In that, they can't get the funds in 8 days or 10 days. I
Right.
talked with Jackie the other night, and he said that he was about 90% sure that if we obligated to the $250,000, the worst case scenario would be that we'd get 1% money for 30 years, and that'll cost us about $750 a month. And but he was pretty sure that they could find funding that would give us that $250,000 back. And I just said, we got an opportunity to have a $12 million investment in our community, and we're gonna let that hold up. $250,000 gonna hold it up. And like I say, he just couldn't get the money quick enough in order for them to apply for the grant.
And you would want a commitment letter, how do we describe that today? Soft commitment letter,
Yes,
correct?
it's a very soft, that says in there that, it's all contingent upon whether or not we get the grant, things of that nature.
Right.
So you're not on the hook unless we find out, that we get this
Right.
funding.
Right. And maybe by then, Jack and Kent can put together the.
And as we discussed in our meeting today, it's like any other grant per se that we get now. It may be 18 months, 24 months for our match is needed
Right.
also as well.
Or the older citizens, are they paying to stay?
No, they're paying the development.
They're paying for the development, okay. And you just need a promissory note.
Or a commitment letter. I don't
commitment
even
letter.
need a promissory note, so it's just a letter of commitment
Right.
for the funding.
And this helps you a little bit along the way of applying for the grant. It gives you a little bit more meat on the bone.
Yes,
That's the
it
first
makes us
thing.
more competitive because one of the categories is leverage.
Sincerity of commitment.
So you're just developing the building itself, not the recreation field across the street, right?
Correct. I don't believe that you
Yeah,
guys.
the school owns that property.
Dillon just started school foundation on stuff.
We don't own that.
Y'all have that recreation field across, do y'all plan on having any plans back there?
That's not ours. That
That's not
belongs to
theirs.
the school.
That's
I
not
know
yours.
it, I know.
No, they don't have any plans for it.
Out of curiosity, do you know how much apartment would be rented for each month?
Not right off the top of my head.
I won't hold you to it, but I was just curious if you had like a figure of how much they would cost. People wondering.
I want to say it was around $595.
That's not bad at all. Good.
Well, I don't have, I can get that to you, the specific, but $595 is sticking in my head.
Okay, that's good.
Would that include utilities?
It does not include
Okay.
utilities, except for water and sewer.
Yeah, it does include water and sewer, okay.
Yes.
I have a question. If perhaps, I don't know how many, you said 33 units, but what if you go a period of time and you can't fill those with seniors? Are they still going to be left open for seniors, or are there going to be other options for other people?
We have to commit to those that are 62 and older. That's part of the grant requirement. So, you know, we have to do a market study to show that this is feasible and that it will get leased up, because it's never good to have properties that just sit there vacant.
So you do all your homework ahead of time to make sure, and then y'all probably have some marketing person that's gonna be doing that as well.
Yes.
Question. Have you accounted for parking accommodations?
Yes, we have.
Okay. Have you also accommodated for flooding in the area?
Flooding, no, we have.
Okay, I think we need to consider that. Considering everything that you proposing to do, all right? You need to consider flooding.
Okay.
Because it does flood in that area.
Okay.
Yes, it does.
All right, thank you.
Sonny, you may want to tell them, I don't know, how many of these projects you've been successful
Yes.
throughout the states.
Sure. So I've done about 12 of these different developments in North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, and Georgia.
Are they going to be market rate properties, or are they using the HUD subsidy? I think that's...
It's an affordable property.
Okay, so HUD would subsidize those units.
If we ask them to.
Okay.
I reckon I need a motion.
I'm gonna make a motion that we give you the commitment letter.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Thank you.
Okay?
She's gonna email.
And also, I want to tell y'all, thank y'all for coming. You support something you really think hard about.
Tanya's gonna email me the commitment letter tomorrow, and I'll go ahead and sign it, and I'll have Jack to look at it prior to me signing it, just to make sure everybody's all on the same page.
Good, good. Thank you. All right, citizens report. Anybody in the congregation want to say anything?
I want to say, I think that's a great idea, and I'm excited about that.
Good, good. I know that they've worked very hard on it, and the project has been rather daunting because of the size and the scope of it. And I know Mary and all of you have worked so hard on this, and we you know, it's kind of like downtown development. You know, there's so many moving parts in it, and it's a big project. Maybe we just need somebody, as you have come along and try to organize our efforts and help us fulfill our dream. Maybe we just need to be patient. Maybe somebody will come along and help us along with that downtown. That's not to say that we shouldn't be active in our own right. But, anyway, thank you. Thank you for your effort. Any other citizens report? Old business resolution number 03-19 adopting a personnel handbook. You know, the only, you know, I'm sure all of you have read this. Employees accruing 4 working weeks. That is just they're allowed to accrue, they're not be given 4 weeks.
You can accrue up to 4 weeks.
But we're not increasing.
But that's for those employees with 20 plus years. Because right now.
I thought it said 12.
No, 20.
20, let's see where that is. All right, I'm sorry.
But what happens is doesn't mean you can, anybody, right now, anybody with 11 years or more service to the city gets up to 3 weeks vacation. All we're doing is adding another week once you reach the plateau of 20.
So you are adding?
Yeah, you're adding another week. For those employees who reach the 20-year
Did we
plateau.
say that last time?
And then, yeah. And then, and then adding.
Their pay or something, wasn't it? Something about losing it.
Well, yeah, that's something else we talked about.
Well, that was the next portion the next portion was under, instead of having 30 working days or 240 hours.
Right. That's back
Increase.
stuff. They can save those.
That is correct.
But we directed you to give
Well,
a
you
fourth
didn't-
week.
No, you didn't direct me, you told me to come back with something. And that's what I've come
Okay.
back to.
Okay.
And that's what I said, I recommend.
There.
You know, and this is something y'all need to decide. But the biggest issue was, and I think Councilman Eller brought it up, if I remember correctly, everybody after 11 years is stagnant at 3 weeks.
Correct.
So I took it out to 20 years, and anything 20 and above would be 4 weeks, but on the back side of that, to keep where it wouldn't cost us additional money for people who lose their vacation time because they don't have time to take it, we would up those hours that they could accumulate to another week, which went from 240 to 280. So
Yeah.
you wouldn't lose, they wouldn't lose anything.
Yeah. I don't think someone should lose, because they're good, hardworking people, that they should lose their hours, and we should extend that up. Honestly, who gets 4 weeks vacation?
Well, nobody does. And 3 weeks is our max.
Well,
I don't have people taking 3 weeks now.
And I'm just saying, here we are, we're scratching our heads about, how we, need money, and, we've got Bert, that, he needs a truck. I went over there, and I didn't mention that in my report, and we need to, we've got a lot of things to get.
I understand. You tell me what y'all want.
Well, I tell you, I'm the one that brought it up. After 10 years of being a city employee, you get nothing but what you get after, 3 weeks for duration of what you work here, okay? I would like to know how many longevity employees you have at 20 years.
I think I had that broke down.
And do it at 15 years. You got 15 and 20 years?
I don't have how many we've got with, there were 18 employees with 20 plus years.
18 employees. And you got 86 full-time employees total.
Full-time employees.
All right. I think if somebody stays with you 20 years, that they ought to have something they can look forward to. Right now, after 10 years, they got nothing to look forward to. And also, you were taking their time, and you were taking it from them. They wasn't even getting paid for it.
That is correct.
So I think and Dr. Walsh, you just spoke on it. We should never take from the employees. We should always pay them if they get over that threshold. So I really hope that the council will submit that for sure.
Well, that was the reason
I think that is very reasonable.
And that's
Let
why
me just say this. If you can be out 4 weeks from your job, I don't know how badly you're needed.
It's not saying you have to be out 4 weeks from your job.
And let me tell you something else, to be on the other side of paying, for people. And I've got people that have worked for me since I opened, 35 years. And, and I tell them, I said, I can't pay you for all that you've done for me. I can't. But I will, we've given them housing, we've given them cars, we've dressed them, we've put their kids through school, we've fed them. You say there's nothing that, to look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
I look forward to going to my job. And if you're in a job that you don't look forward to going to, you need to change.
Well, my thing is this.
No, your thing is you want to be Santa Claus to everybody.
What I want to tell you is this.
You cannot do it without breaking the budget.
What I want to tell you, breaking the budget, I'd like to know how many of them people right there is making $12.50 an hour. Huh?
I don't know.
I guarantee you the department heads that are here right now, they're the ones that's going to make the big money off the extra week. Not the person who's out there weed eating making $12 an hour.
Well,
so
I'm taking from them.
I'm just letting you know how it is.
Yeah. Well,
and you got several of them out here that's been here 18 years.
I have learned in 35 years of business, you can't buy loyalty. If people love what they do and they're loyal, they're going to stay.
Well, I think if
Well, they
somebody's
have
been,
something to look forward to or not.
well, I think if somebody's been with you 20 years, they're loyal to you. You ought to give them something in return.
Well, put it to a vote. I would like to vote on those. I'd like a motion to do those individually. First, I'd like a motion for the extension from, what is it, 180 to 240?
From 240 to 280.
240 to 280. Could I get a motion?
I got a question.
Okay.
Glenn,
I'm listening.
you tell me what you think about it.
Well, I mean,
Okay,
the biggest issue is that we have employees we had 30 employees as of June 30th, which is 35% of our full-time employees, that had over the maximum number of vacation hours, which is 240. Now, they could have had, 20 of them could have had 242 hours, or 20 of them could have had 280 hours. I don't know what that number was. And my biggest complaint I have from those employees are, you took time away from them.
Yeah.
Well, and they don't have time, nor do they have the money to take, what is 240 hours, 6 weeks? Is that what they can? Yeah, roughly 6 weeks of accumulation of time over the years. So instead of taking their hours, let's just move that 240 up to 280.
So, yeah.
And that way, they may not
Yeah.
lose time as quick, per se. Increasing to 4 weeks after 20 years, you know, once again, it's a small pot of people who's going to meet that. We'd love for people to stay that long. Don't know that anybody's going to take the time. I don't know that it actually costs us out of pocket, except when they leave us. But then the most they're going to get is 280 hours anyway. So I mean, it's not going to cost us extra out of pocket. Even though they're off work on vacation, they're still going to get paid the same rate they got paid if they were at work. You know, that's still entirely left to be. The biggest one though is the first portion. Extend their maximum limit up to 280 instead of 240, so they don't lose the time. Still may have some to lose it. Just depends on how long they've been here. But you know, that's.
so how many?
It costs a meal to do that.
How many of those do you think?
That's
would make-
basically what
make
we're
that
talking
up?
about.
Will
In
make
order
that
to
up?
add that week, it will cost a meal.
That 20 years.
Say again?
How many of them do you average that might make that 20 years?
Well, right now
Well,
we have 18
Uh,
18 employees.
If you've got 20
Out of the 18
employees,
employees, how many take their 3 weeks vacation?
Oh, none of them do. I mean, none of them do. Because they don't, once again, who can take off that much time? Now, on the other side of that, if for some reason they've got a sickness, whether it's themselves or their spouse or their child,
yeah,
you know, it's there to be used along with your sick time.
yeah.
So I mean, there's a trade out there. The sick time goes first, and then they're there to use their vacation time. Because that's the things that I do tell our employees: don't waste your vacation days. Even though you may lose them after you reach a certain, you may need them down the road for an illness or whatever, because you never know. So
6 weeks would give you a chance to get over an illness, a surgery, or something like that. That's about a meal is what it's going to cost. If you've got, just say, average pay, you're saying that the high-end people are the ones that are going to get it. So, I mean, and I know this is just a guess, $16 an hour, you know, roughly 20 employees at 40 more hours, it's going to cost us about $13,000. It'll be a meal. You know, if you want to do another millage increase.
or you have a motion to increase the 240 hours to a maximum of 280.
I second that. Well, I make the motion.
I thought somebody made the motion.
Dr. Waters made the motion.
Okay.
No, I didn't make the
Oh, you
motion.
didn't?
I
You
asked
did?
for the motion.
Okay.
Okay.
I make a motion to increase that.
I second.
All those in favor? Aye. Okay, is there a motion to employees after 20 years receive a 4th week of vacation?
Yeah, I make the motion that we give them an additional week's vacation at their 20-year anniversary.
Is there a second?
I second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Nay?
Nay.
Nay. Okay.
Passed. All right. So we'll make those changes in the handbook, and now you need to make a motion on the resolution itself.
Okay. Can I get a motion?
I got a motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye.
All right.
All right, new business ordinance 19-05, rezoning property at 301 North First Avenue.
I'll make a motion.
All those in favor? We had some changes in the sports complex, rentals and concessions. I think we're going from 125 to
Well, at the last meeting, there was discussions, and I mean, to get it on record and to vote on it, I put it on the agenda for council to direct me how you want to handle the sports complex rentals, what you want to charge, how you want to handle concessions. And in my letter to you, I gave you some information, how we've been doing it and how we do it. So it's, you know, I guess I'm asking council to give me a direction on what you want to do based on what we've been doing.
I think staying out of the collection of money is probably a good idea. That's what you suggested. If you've got somebody out there, and he runs all, that's per field, $125 per field?
Yeah.
Okay, so that would change us from $500 to $1,000, and you know you're going to have $100 or $80 in your employee out there, $100, $125. I don't know how much they get paid, but you're going to have them out there, and they're probably going to be out there more than 8 hours. So you're not making a lot of profit on that right now, and that's just to be out there. That doesn't count all the preparation and cutting the fields and fertilizer and lights and all that. I think that I don't want to run off these businesses, but I think $250 is a reasonable
To rent the field.
To rent the field, yeah. But I don't have a dog in the fight of the concessions. I think that's worked well for us in the past, and I don't have an issue with that.
Well, since I brought it up, and I'm the one who's asking the questions, I go out here and I coach all the different sports with these kids, and I think it's a way that we can generate money. If you put a city employee out there for just 10 hours and you pay them $10 an hour, you got 300 people. Let's just supposedly say on the low end comes in at $7. You take $2 from that, and you take that money and you could buy a pitching machine. You could even fix up your backfields back there. There's a lot of things that we can do for these kids that we need. And if you got somebody, you pay them $10 an hour, and you take in $600, you've made $500. And that would help you buy machines and stuff for all different sports, coach pitching. You could even have clinics out there for these young kids to learn how to catch a ball and hit a ball. And thinking outside the box is what I wanted us to try to do. Raising the field rentals, that's a great thing. We talked about that before. But getting a little bit of extra money as they walk in, it doesn't hurt us a bit. It's helping us to where we can help these kids. I had many young ladies come to me this year and didn't have a glove to catch a ball with. I mean, That's what I'm looking at, to be able to help these kids and help our complex.
So we're gonna buy the baseball gloves?
No, sir, I'm just saying, they didn't have gloves, didn't have a mask, but, you know, we can buy another playground equipment. Our playground equipment's out there, is outdated too, Glenn, you would.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
it's just, you could generate another $10,000 that you're not getting now. I'm just throwing a figure out here, it might not be that much. But help us to help these kids get more things, a pitching machine and stuff like that.
So you wanna charge them $6 to come watch the game?
No, sir. I say they basically charge, I tell you what, we just had a tournament in Georgetown this past weekend. Dr. Watts, they charged $10, okay? I'm asking that the city put somebody there. You can have bracelets or have tickets, and you know how many people walks in, or you can have them all get the money.
Yeah.
And then we write them a check back after we get our $2 for every person that walks in. You generate $500, just basically five. It could be more now. I'm just basing it on 300 people. That's $7. You get $2. So that's $600. For 10 hours that a city employee works out there, they get $100. We get $500.
You're talking about just the
gate.
tournaments?
Just the gate.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah, not regular season game.
No, this is the tournament gate fees. Because
I'm not opposed to tournament gate fees.
No.
but I mean,
I'm not
I
saying
think it'd be
anything
a
about charging
horrible
any of our
thing.
citizens to go watch our kids play.
Not during regular season.
Are they charging now gate fees?
Yeah, they do, and this is what happens at Florence, at Freedom of Florence and Hartsville at Bowery Park. In Florence, they have a field rental of $500 if they have less than 15 teams. If they have more than 15 teams, there's no field rental. Then the gate fees, they split 50-50 and it's an honor system.
Okay.
But they don't get any field rental. Hartsville charges $100 per day plus $25 if they use a light per field, and they don't get any of the gate fee.
So what are they charging for admission to these?
Oh, they vary, anywhere from $7 to $10.
Ours was $6 over in Florence this past.
Well, if you're talking,
but this was a younger group.
yeah, but if you're talking travel ball, and when I say travel ball, things that are not associated with a recreation department or Dixie youth ball or Dixie softball, those fees are a little bit higher.
Right. But I'm saying they're charging $250 per team just to enter the tournament.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so they're getting we're not touching that. Because like you said, the referees and awards and all that,
Yeah,
they pay out there.
They pay everything.
But we fertilize them, we chalking, they use our lights. I mean, they use our.
And that's
you know what I'm
the
saying?
reason I mentioned to increase the rental, double the
Right,
rental.
and that's why I went a little bit further to give you examples, because we could use a couple pitching machines. We could help get our backfields where they need to be at so we can practice and play on them. I mean, and that's some of the examples I wanted to give you on why I was asking for us to take a couple of dollars off the gate fees.
But I think if we did that, we need to do it really
through the honor.
Do the honors.
Let them give us the
I
money.
mean, I'm all in agreement if I can get the council to help pass it.
I agree with that, but I think it would be hard to find, because you would have to have two city employees out there, because they got to go to the restroom, and when one person's out there by themselves, they're obligated to stay there, can't go take a break to eat, so you would almost have to have two people there in order to do it. So then it would increase, and then it's gonna be hard to find somebody that's willing to obligate themselves on Saturday and Sundays to do it, that you trust with your.
So you would want to increase it to the $250 per
Increase it
field?
$250 and then.
And plus
on the honor
50/50 on the honor system?
Yeah.
I mean,
That's all right.
everybody good with that?
Get a motion?
I make my
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Okay.
Okay.
Now, what about the concession stand as a whole? We need to talk about that too, Glenn?
Yeah, I mean, I've got it there for you to
Okay.
discuss.
As we know now, the city doesn't run their concession stands. So we don't make any money when we have all these games going on, all the state tournaments, and also all the tournaments that we just spoke of about the USAA tournaments that come to Dillon. And I want to say roughly, and if I'm wrong and I misspeak, you can correct me, Glenn, but we have 7 to 8 of these tournaments that we just voted to raise the rental fees.
Somewhere in that.
Okay? All right. This one individual runs the concession stands. All right. We have soccer, and we have recreational for softball and baseball. You got in your report here $35 each day. Okay, now that's a lot of money for, you know, running this thing every day for at least March 15th. We start to practice out there till all the way to June. Okay, all right. I basically want to get to the bottom of it. I think, really personally, I would love the city to take their concession stands back over. I know I'm not going to win that argument. I understand that. But I want to see the city get something out of this. We're not getting what we should be getting.
What are you gonna charge?
I don't know. And I have nothing to gauge off how much money he's made on our concession stands all through the years.
Yeah, I mean, Qantas, I'll use Qantas for instance. They do like a 30-70 split. But once again, it's an honor system.
Well, I mean, I
30,
think
70, what do you mean?
The person that runs it keeps 80% of the
That's
profit.
not Qantas?
Yeah.
And then they turn 30% over to the Qantas Club.
So you just got somebody out there that's running it?
Yeah,
Well,
they
most
use
of-
it, contract out with
Sorry.
someone else.
But most importantly, I think everybody who wants to take a part in this have a bid to where they can have their hand in the pot to say, hey, look, I tried to get this, you know, to make them some money. I mean, we didn't do that. And the city would definitely get whatever. I think the minimum bid should be $5,000. And I'll tell you why. All them tournaments, you've had 2 state tournaments come to Dillon. The place was flooded. You couldn't even park. 3. You couldn't even park. Okay? But long story short, I just think it ought to be where it's fair across the board, and everybody ought to be able to have an opportunity to bid, and the city get more money than what they're getting now.
Why don't we table that portion of it and maybe get Kevin to come in and let's talk, or if you want to bid it out. I don't, you know.
I'll leave that up to you. I mean, that's y'all's decision, how you want to do that.
Dr. Wallace, I'll take your recommendation that we ask Mr. Scott to come in and talk to us about it to our next meeting. And I'll make the motion and see where it goes from there.
I second.
All those in favor?
What'd you make a motion on to
That
do?
Mr. Scott.
We want to have him
Talk
come
to
in.
us about, you know, I don't know that we needed a motion for that. We're gonna table that portion of,
All right,
all right.
gotcha.
Next thing, Facebook Live.
That's on the agenda. We've got some that like to have it, some that don't want to have it. And it's not my decision to make whether it should be or should not be. That's a decision y'all need to
Is there
make.
any discussion that we need to make on this?
Of course, I'd like to make a little discussion about it. There's nothing against Hometown TVA, nothing against the Dillon Herald. I just feel like it's a better tool that we can utilize for the citizens that can't get up here to see our meetings. And there's a lot of elderly people that want to be involved in our local government. They want to see what's going on. It's up to the minute. They can see what their representatives talking about in their district. Other municipalities, other local governments are doing it. I don't know why we wouldn't allow our citizens to see us be so transparent that they can see what we're talking about. I think that we owe them that. And I would just like to ask the other council members to give me some kind of, you know, your reasoning why, or who was against it, and tell me why you'd be against Facebook. It's free. It doesn't cost us a thing. It doesn't cost the city a thing.
Who tapes it?
Huh? Well, you put it on your mobile device and you put it on a tripod, and the city's got a Facebook page. You can put it on the city's Facebook page and just hit the button and it goes live. You can put it anywhere in here you want to, and it captures everybody. And I just think it's a great tool. I think the citizens can see what's going on, just like tonight when we talked about this new idea that the Historical Foundation came. Great. They would be able to see it.
Any other discussion?
My reason for not wanting it is the comments and once it's commented on, it's out there. Whether or not if it's positive or negative, they can put on there anything they want to run the city of Dillon down. And people, I mean, I watch it. I mean, you watch Ed on the news. They're on there talking about him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. That's what my biggest problem with it is the negative comments and once it's out there, it's out there. So that's my reasoning for it. If there was a way you could do Facebook Live and they could not comment and just whatever they want to say about anybody up here or any discussion, and then it's out there and you can't take it back, so.
I mean, and I understand what you're saying, Douglas, but we live in a society today, you got negativity and you got positivity. But I'm just saying, to be transparent, so these citizens can see, I just think it's a great idea. It's not costing the city a dime. And other municipalities and other local governments are doing it. So, I mean, I don't understand why everybody wouldn't be for that, to let the people see what you're doing for our local government, our city of Dillon. It's a great tool.
That it? So do we have a motion?
Well, I'll make a motion, Dr. Wallace, that we allow, I'll tell you what, can we do it on a trial basis? Would you be willing to do it on a trial basis for 6
Just
months?
make the motion.
Okay, I'll make the motion, we go Facebook Live.
A second. Motion fails.
Okay.
Dillon County Council, Dillon County Council on Aging.
Oh, a year and a half, 2 years ago, Johnny Spivey, who was at that time was executive director, this would have been prior to the last hurricane, I believe. She had gotten a grant to do some interior work inside the building. And that was about the same time we were doing exterior work on our own building, since we own council aging. And she asked, kind of like Tanya did tonight, a soft commitment for a match of $12,000 if she got this grant. I told her, sure, we'd do that, but couldn't promise anything because we wasn't sure if there would be money there. So she came prior to her leaving, which was been about a year now, and requested if we were able to budget that money. I told her no, at that time we were not able to budget it, and that I would try to put it in the 2020 budget, which we just passed a month ago. The new executive director, which is Jeanette Freitas, has approached me back in January, and again here in the last week or so, wanted to know if that money was going to be available. And I told her it was not budgeted, but I would come to council and see if this is something council would want to do. So that's why I bring it to council if you want to fund that $12,000 match.
What do they get?
Well, the work's already been done. They've gotten a grant to do upgrades inside that building. They painted new carpet.
I thought this was an additional $12,000.
No.
You know, I mean, are we going to spend $12,000 out of budget?
Well, I mean, that'd be the only way you could do it.
Well, for the last 2 years, they've asked for the money.
Yeah.
And some of the things they want to do with the money, they got some refrigerators they need to buy. They got more sofa, tables, and there's a lot more stuff that they need their money to.
I thought they had already spent some money.
Well, they have.
They have.
They have. They just like thinking that they were going to get the match from us, which they've already spent the money. That grant and that project is completed, and wasn't able to get it during that time frame. They want to know if they can get it now to put back into their kitty to where they've spent money that they weren't planning to spend,
right?
I.e. the $12,000.
You able to do that?
Pardon?
Where we at about doing it?
Well, I think we could do it, but I mean, just it's not budgeted, so I have to bring it to you as council since it's not budgeted.
I'm gonna second the motion.
All those in favor? I just, you know, and you elderly, you know, let's get these things in when we're doing the budget so that we're not, you know, sitting here in May wondering, how the heck could we get out of budget so far? You know,
and it was one of the things that was on this budget, but it went out the door along with the upfit grants and our alleys being resurfaced. And we had to cut to get some things in to meet our own demands. So.
Well, and we did that, and you know, it's not a. Why don't you go ahead?
I'm asking to be excused.
Yeah, no, go ahead. He's got a ball game, but you know, we've got a lot of stuff that is in poor repair, and Bert and them, they need a lot of help, and you know, we need to look hard at getting an estimate on what he needs in a truck.
Well, we'll bring back at our next month and have it on the agenda, because if it's not on the agenda, you
Yeah,
can't do
okay.
anything with
All right.
that.
Anything else?
Council member reports.
Yeah, did he?
And I think
Did everybody leave?
restroom. I think Mr.
Douglas is leaving.
Yeah, I know you said those.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. All right. A couple of things I want to bring to your attention, Glenn. I want to ask you about the accommodation tax. Did we publicize that this year for the people that want to apply to get the accommodation tax?
That I can't answer, did you?
We never have.
We did. We
Because
have.
there's
before.
only a few that can do it to
Well,
the capacity.
Shouldn't we publicize that so people that might want to take advantage of that?
Probably should.
Okay. Also, what is PD tourism? I look back on my notes. I wanted to find out what PD tourism.
PD Tourism is a entity from South Carolina Parks and Recreation and Tourism. Each region of the state has a tourism, what's the word I'm looking for, in it. And PD Tourism covers all the counties in the PD. And they supposedly use money that they get to promote each county and each city.
So what are you saying? PD tourism, like Dillon County, where the city of Dillon, we gave them $7,000. So they go to the city of Marion, the city of Marion gives them $5,000.
They may give them that or more or less, that's correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Like I said, I went to the municipal association and I brought back this. I talked to Glenn a year ago about this, and it's something I want council to really look at. And nothing against Chief Lane, but the radars that we got on 8th Avenue, this one here is a mobile that you could put sticks or poles up, and you can move them from place to place. I understand we only got one, and I'd like the city council to look into getting a couple of these. They're I could go into a lot of
Do
detail
you remember
with
the
it,
cost on that?
but it's I think it's $5,500, but I mean it's very light. It does a lot of things for you, and you know, I know y'all kind of threw your head back and everything, but long story short, it does a lot more than just, you know, read your speed limit. It does a lot of data work for you and everything too. So, you know, I just gave you a
Let you
packet.
know how many came down through that road speeding.
Well, it lets you know that too,
They
everything.
need one of them on 6th Avenue.
Yeah, well, I mean, but I gave you the packet. I hope that you'll look at it. Next month, we'll talk more in depth about it, but I just wanted you to.
Do you have an extra one?
I do. I'll let you have this one, man. Did the Aflac representative ever get in contact with you?
I'm gonna be there at the end of this month.
Okay. Do we got a procurement policy? How does that work for the city? Are the sealed bids supposed to come in front of the council?
Anything over $30,000, no.
Anything over 30,000?
Anything over 30,000 is sealed bids and has to go through, trying to think, we have to advertise it through a different order, some magazine type deal.
Okay.
And it's 30,000 or below.
Okay.
And usually the only thing we get like that are wastewater.
Well, like our
Thank
capital purchase, we just did with our trash truck.
Mhm.
We didn't have different banks. They wanted to bid on, but y'all came back and told us what the interest rates were they were offering. We didn't open it up in
We
front
went
of
to the
council.
banks and said, here's what we're doing, give us a quote on it.
Right, but shouldn't they submit a sealed bid and y'all open it up in front of council when it's over $30,000?
We haven't, I mean, if that's something y'all want to do, it
I
doesn't
mean,
say that.
you just
I
told
mean,
me that's what the procurement
well, it
policy
doesn't say
said.
you have to open it in front of council.
They don't say that.
Yeah, no.
Well, the reason I say that is like the capital purchases we have, the banks that we use, and what banks are we using?
First Bank, First Citizen, and Anderson Brothers.
So all three of them banks has got a piece of the pie with us.
Because we do business with all three.
Yeah.
All right. Stop the violence movement. I want to thank Mr. Kenny Smith for allowing me to go out and see what's going on. And I also want to say this. The police department and the citizens, we need to sit down and we need to get together. They're going to have a little committee. I think the police department, we should have a little committee, also police officers, even collaborate with the county and share ideas on how we can make our community safe. It was great. Dr. Wallace went out there. He done his speech and everything. But I think to move the ball forward, we really need to sit down with the community and find out how we can make our community safer. We've got to. We can't just let this one time go by the wayside. And I want to help spearhead this with you, Mr. Smith, that we do this and we don't drag our feet on it. Okay? Lastly, committees. I know other municipalities have council members on safety committees, finance committees, and so forth. And I think Todd mentioned it before he decided he wasn't going to, run again. I'd like to see us go forward with that, so we can build a relationship with each one of these different departments. I know Dr. Wallace has been going around, but to find out what the needs are. I know you bring us back sometimes, but it's good to sit down and talk to them and find out what their needs are. I had one more here, Dr. Wallace, and I'm gonna quit. The planner that we got right here in front of the Chamber of Commerce, that we took the other one away. Is there any way we can get rid of that one, Glenn?
Well, that's once again, that's gonna be y'all's decision.
I'm telling you, the people that talk to me ask, and I don't know why, I don't have the answer for them, why we didn't take both of them out at one time.
Because y'all voted just to take that one out.
Well, and I guess I'm looking bad by coming here asking again, I guess. But I'd like to see the council think about taking that planner out the middle of the daggone road.
What was the cost?
Well, we ended up spending 30 some odd thousand. However, we haven't gotten reimbursed yet. The C funds folks are reimbursing us for that. They took that cost. And we may have, a little bit more cost than that, where we took out the planner. Am I correct, Bert?
Yes, sir.
We took all it out, and then we came back and did a little bit of resurfacing. And then they came back to C funds is gonna pay for what's just been done here in the last 2 months. Even though we paid for it up front, they'll reimburse us for what we did. I'll look at it, and also we'll put it on the agenda to talk about it again next month. And that way, if y'all decide to do it, it's on the agenda.
And I don't think this time, Dr. Wallace, that the state has to get involved, because everything is just, the turn lanes are the way they are. It's just, you can't get in that turning lane, only 1 or 2 cars before you hit the planter. And if you take it out, it's just a little cost.
Well, it'll be cost, and then they'll want us to come back and resurface it and reline it. Something kind of like what we just did. We'll have to get one permission from them, but that wouldn't be an issue. And then we need to talk with the C funds folks and see if it's something that they would be willing to help fund us like we did this past one.
All right.
If that'll work.
Okay. I'm good with that law.
I don't have anything.
Johnny, you've got some great ideas, and I think I've about estimated that it would be about 4 meals this meeting.
4 meals?
$30,000 for the center line, that's about 2 meals, a meal for, the 4 weeks, 4th week of vacation. And just when you come to council with these ideas, and I love your enthusiasm, but just be cognizant when you talk about the poor people that have to pay for these things, that you're worried about them when you're bringing up these additional costs. That's all I want to say.
We asked about those trash cans at the park over there. Haven't got that done yet, a long time ago. And over between 6 and Calhoun and Dog, it's right between the backside of the parking lot of Manning Baptist Church. We need some lights down through there because there's a lot of stuff going on down through there.
What street is that?
It's between 6 and 8, but it's adjacent with Manning.
On their backside?
Yeah, the Fellowship Hall part. And it's just a lot. Like I say, my son woke me up this morning at 4 o'clock. They're chasing somebody down through there, and it's dark all down through there.
That would be Dargan Street.
Calhoun. No, Dargan.
Okay.
Dargan. It's Dargan and 6 in between Dargan and 6, and it's a parking lot there.
Okay.
But those lights been out for, I done said something about it one time, but I forgot about turning them. I guarantee you.
There are thick lights there?
Yeah, the lights there already.
Okay.
But
Check to see if those have been.
they just hadn't been cut back on. So
And they face the road or the parking lot?
Manning's is facing, Manning's is on that parking lot, but we talk about the ones on the road in between those streets. It's just completely dark through that whole street.
We've been having trouble with them repairing those that we put in, so I'll make the call tomorrow.
Anything else? Can I get a motion to?
I made the motion, we adjourn.
Second.